If you want to start collecting and playing Fallout Wasteland Warfare, but you don't know where to start or what to buy, don't worry, because today I'm going to run through somewhat of a buyer's guide so you'll know exactly what you need to pick up and how you can save money along the way. The first thing that I would suggest you buy if you're wanting to start playing Fallout Wasteland Warfare is the core box. Inside here is everything you're going to need to get started. You've got some minis, which are enough to play through some starting scenarios that will teach you the game. You've got all your starting cards, your counters, your tokens, your rulers, and of course your books, which contain a rule book, a quick start book, and a scenario book, which gives you a whole bunch of scenarios to play through. The minis in the core box are PVC plastic, whereas the rest of the releases we'll be talking about today are resin, and it retails at £68 from the Modiphius store, and obviously gives you everything you'd need to get started. But if you don't need all of the counters and rulers and you're wanting to just play this game as a slightly more minis agnostic game, simply meaning you'll play with whatever minis you have to hand, you can always just get your hands on the rulebook for the game for free at the Modiphius store, which I'll link as well as all the other products I'm talking about today down in the video description. Equally, if you want to save some money, and if you do buy from the Modiphius store here in the UK or Europe, you can use code TABLETOPHUB to get 10% off your order, which will help you save a little bit extra, and a little bit of a kickback comes back to me here in the channel to support content just like this. With that said, it's important to remember that there are some key components you won't have if you go down this route. But if you're going half in a box with a friend and just splitting the components, it at least means you'll both have access to the rules. The measurement rulers are shown to size in the rulebook, so you could just use a measuring tape instead and just check it against these. Equally, you wouldn't need to worry too much about not having the unit and weapons cards because there's actually an app for the game for iOS and Android, and I actually use it as a substitute for the physical cards. I have a whole video dedicated to the app and you can find that up here. The main cards that you'd be missing would be event cards, creature event cards, etc. But if you're looking for a lower price base entry to the game, this is a viable way to go. So you've got your core box or your core box alternative, you've played through the scenarios and you know how the game works, and now you want to start building out a force. Well, just like in the video game, there are a number of factions that you can collect in Fallout Wasteland Warfare, from the Brotherhood of Steel to the Enclave, the Railroad to the Gunners. And each faction follows a similar formula when it comes to the releases that are available for them. First off, you've got the core box for a faction. If you just needed one box for a faction, this is the only one you'd need. It will give you enough minis to field that faction on the table without anything else. The core boxes traditionally retail at £45 from the Modiphius store. But if you want to continue expanding upon that force with more units, more minis and more variety, then there are two types of boxes that act as bolt-ons for your force, and they're what I would call leader boxes and unit boxes. They're both quite self-explanatory, but leader boxes contain new leaders for you to field with your force. For the mutants, there's Overlord and Fist or Hammer. For the Brotherhood of Steel, there's Paladin Dance or Elder Maxon. For Caesar's Legion, there's Legate Lanius. Each one of these boxes usually comes with at least 2 additional minis in them, and they'll each retail at around £24. The unit boxes have a ton more variety, depending on how long the faction has been out for. These contain new units for you to field on the table to add variety to your force and help bolster your playstyle. With the Super Mutants, this means having a box of Suiciders to bomb your opponents. For the Brotherhood of Steel, this means getting access to frontline knights or a whole host of different power armor units. These unit boxes are entirely optional, you don't need them at all, but once you're settled into the game and want to build out your force, both the leader and unit boxes are a great way to do that. The price on the boxes varies completely from £15 to £60, really depending on what you're looking for, and the amount of models you get equally varies too. Usually a good rule of thumb is that if you don't get a lot of models in a box, then it usually means they'll be quite expensive points-wise to field on the table. Now, it should be noted that when you buy any of these bolt-on boxes, you don't get any of the cards needed in order to field them. They all come in these card boxes, which are released for every wave. You'll either love or hate this system. You'll hate it because it's another £27 you'll need to spend in order to field your new units, but you might love it because it'll give you the cards you need to field any model that was released in that wave of releases, meaning you could substitute some of the models with whatever you've got at home and be able to play with them. But what if you want to play with the minis but don't want to fork out £27? Well, let me refer you back to the app. You can get a subscription here which gets you every unit and weapon card in the game, and it's £2.99 a month. For me, I actually actually prefer this. It's a lot less clutter too. There are some additional products for Fallout Wasteland Warfare, like terrain. There's STLs if you have a 3D printer. There are creature boxes containing rad roaches and death claws, and there's even expansion boxes with more thematic scenarios. But if you're just getting started, honestly, I don't think you need any of that. Just stick to the core products, start building your force, and then if you're looking for new content or looking to get extra pieces like the ghouls, for example, you're doing it because you think they look cool, not because you think you need them to play the game. Speaking of playing the game, I've got a whole series teaching you how to do just that, and the first video is how to set up and play your first game. So if you are just getting into Fallout Wasteland Warfare, why not click here to learn out how to do that.